What's up, collectors? Welcome back to Films by Color. Got another collection update for you. It's the beginning of April. We had a lot of stuff added to the collection in the month of March. We had a couple big sales. We had the Criterion sale. We had the Paramount sale at Barnes & Noble. I did find a couple cool things at some secondhand stores and online. I added a couple big out-of-print releases to the collection last month. So a lot of stuff to talk about in this video. We're going to get into all of it right now. All right, guys, let's talk about some movies, starting with some boutique stuff. That's what I like to talk about on this channel, really getting into the boutique labels lately, and starting off right off the bat with a big one. This is one that I'm very proud of. This is a Vinegar Syndrome release that came out towards the end of last year and went out of print almost immediately. I think it did go out of print like day one. A lot of people very upset with how fast this went out of print. A lot of people want this limited edition slipcover, and I got it. I found it on eBay. It usually goes for like at least $100. I did not want to pay that much, but I got really lucky and someone posted it for a good price, as good as you can get for something like this, and very happy to add it to the collection. It is Hundreds of Beavers, which is a pretty recent film that I just watched this year for the first time, and I had to get a physical copy of this because I had such a good time with this movie. Wholly unique film. You're not going to see anything else like this. It is a throwback to Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin, like silent era slapstick comedy. It's a little bit of Looney Tunes. It's kind of a video game movie. It's a very interesting blend of all kinds of stuff. Lots of over-the-top visual effects, a lot of digital and green screen effects, but done in such a way where it's very reverent, very throwbacky, like I said. So you kind of stick with it. Very cartoony. Really like the visuals, very unique visuals, and a very simple story, and you're basically just there to enjoy the spectacle. And I had a great time with it. Very happy to add this to the collection. It is a beautiful slipcover, and I see why it went out of print so quickly. Love the artwork on that one. This is the artwork underneath. This is the theatrical poster. It's from Cartoona, which is a very new partner label with Vinegar Syndrome. This is only spine number 3 from Cartoona. Disc inside. Some crazy artwork behind as well. You've got 2 discs in here, double disc Blu-ray. You've got lots of bonus features, VFX breakdown, 3 audio commentaries, and some deleted scenes, and several other things on there. Look at the artwork on the back. That is some intense artwork. It's almost like a pattern back there. Really like the look of that. And you do get a booklet on this one, but it is not essays about the film. It is this massive poster campaign that they did. Like just every poster you can think of, lots of parody posters. You got Planet of the Apes right there. You got Chinatown. You've got Taxi Driver. There's Fargo and Vertigo and E.T. and just like this is, I don't even know, there's not page numbers, but it's got to be at least like 30 pages of just posters and posters and posters. So that's a lot of fun and goes along with the spirit of the film because the film is very weird. Very bonkers. Make sure you give someone a warning before you show it to them. We didn't really know what we were getting into. I watched this with Grace and did not prepare her for the zaniness of this, but very happy to add that to the collection. That's going back there right next to Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, which was another big one that went out of print last year. And then the second one I got, that was the first thing I got of the month. Second thing I got of the month is another big out of print boutique label release for Deaf Crocodile. And I've already talked about this on the channel. I did a video going through my entire Deaf Crocodile collection, and this was the last one I needed to finish that collection. This is Delta Space Mission, an animated sci-fi film, so I won't talk too much about it because I don't want to get too far in the weeds on stuff that I've already talked about on the channel, but I did want to go through it all briefly just because I know some of you guys like the big haul videos where I talk about everything I got in the month. So that's Delta Space Mission from Deaf Crocodile. Finally completed that line. The next things we got in the month, early on in this month, I got these from viewer Sean. Sean is a wonderful subscriber. He's sent me several things in the past, usually from Warner Archive, and he sent me these 4. Right at the beginning of the month. These were from my Amazon wish list, which is always linked in the description for those of you that want to donate to the channel. I always appreciate it, and Sean has done it several times in the past, so thank you so much, Sean. These are ones I've wanted to get to for a while and just haven't been able to prioritize. This first one here, I've actually watched these 2 already. I've watched both of these, so I can talk about these a little bit. This is The Boy with the Green Hair. This is a really, really fun movie. Well, I don't know if fun is the right word. It's a very serious movie. It's a very anti-war pacifist film, but it's got this fun little hook, which I was surprised how that doesn't really play that much of a role in the story until towards the end of the film. I was just in the story. I didn't even need that hook because the story is great. It's about this war-orphaned kid whose parents both die in the war, and he's just passed around from family member to family member. He finally ends up with this person that he's not really related to, but it's this older gentleman who he calls Gramp, and their relationship is just wonderful. It's a very allegorical film, told through the lens of childhood. It's not really for kids, but it's about childhood, and it's also, like I said, a very anti-war film. Apparently got the director blacklisted for a while, and he went on to do some big films. I think The Servant and Mr. Klein. He's done several films that have ended up in the Criterion collection, so I want to watch more of his stuff. This actor went on to be a much bigger actor as well. So that is The Boy with Green Hair. Really enjoyed that. Watched that one by myself. This next one I watched with Grace, and we both enjoyed it. It's Mr. Blandings Builds His Dream House. This is a lot of fun. This is kind of a comedy, maybe a screwball comedy, I guess you would call it. It's Cary Grant in the lead, and he's great. He's the best thing about it. He's really, really good in this. Had a great time watching this with Grace. It just starts out with him. He has a wife and 2 daughters living in New York in this kind of apartment building, and it's just miserable. They're all getting each other's way, and they move out of the country and buy this lot and build this house from scratch. And it's just like a fun little screwball comedy. It's basically like an HGTV episode starring Cary Grant, and it was a lot of fun. We had a great time with it. A lot of great lines in that one. I think the script was really good. I think it was a radio play. No, first. Maybe it was even a stage play. But it does have 2 radio play versions on here from Lux Radio Theater and Playhouse Broadcast. So there's a couple and Cary Grant actually plays in either 1 or 2 of those radio play versions, which is really cool to hear him doing the lines again in kind of a different way. I listened to that a little bit. Then we've got 2 more here from Warner Archive. This other one stars Gary Cooper, and it is Friendly Persuasion. This was one that wasn't even on my radar, but this is one that Sean recommends to as many people as he can. He's a really big fan of this one. Stars Anthony Perkins. I think this is actually Anthony Perkins' debut feature, like his first appearance. It says so right here at the bottom of the screen, this tiny little stamp-looking thing. But this sounds great. This sounds like a lot of fun. The only reason I haven't watched this one yet is because it is a little longer. I think it's 137 minutes. So we haven't found the time to pop in, an over 2-hour film yet. But I'm looking forward to it. Comes highly, highly recommended from Sean. And then we've also got Christopher Strong, starring Katharine Hepburn, which is the main reason I added it to the wish list. Me and Grace love Katharine Hepburn, one of our favorite actresses of all time. This is an older black and white film. So one of her early performances, I guess around the time as Philadelphia Story and some of those other classics, Holiday. So I can't wait to watch this. This looks like it's more serious. I don't think this is a comedy at all, just a straight up drama film. So looking forward to checking that one off the list as well. Thank you so much, Sean. Really appreciate it. And just a sneak peek, Sean has already sent me some more Warner Archive stuff this coming month. I haven't received it yet, but it's from the Warner Archive sale that we had this month. So look forward to more of that coming soon. Like I said, we had the Paramount sale from Barnes & Noble this month. So I've already talked about all of this in the in-store hunting video. So I'll briefly just throw these out there. I got The Crow and I got Sweeney Todd. Looking forward to both of these. I'll probably watch these towards the end of the year, a little bit later, once we start getting into spooky season, especially The Crow, which I definitely want to give a watch this year because we're getting the 4K Dark City release from Arrow Video, the big deluxe box set from Arrow. I will definitely be picking that one up. I don't know if I'm going to go ahead and pre-order it from Orbit or just wait until we get an Arrow sale. Hopefully that lines up. I think they usually do one around June is when that movie comes out, so it might line up perfectly to pick that up in store. But 2 great releases, only 14 bucks each because of the Paramount sale. Happy to grab those. Then going in order, we have these 2 pickups, which I got from CD Warehouse, which I haven't got to talk about on the channel yet. I did a little post where I just showed an image of this, but so happy to grab these. These are 2 really cool finds. This was only $16. The complete Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? This is seasons 1 and 2 and the 3rd season, which is technically usually lumped in as Where Are You, even though I think it aired originally as a different title. But all 3 seasons here of the original Scooby-Doo series. I'm a huge Scooby-Doo fan. I don't think I've ever talked about it on the channel, but I grew up with Scooby-Doo. I didn't grow up with any other Hanna-Barbera shows, but I was a big Scooby-Doo kid. My grandma got me into it, used to watch it at her house a lot, and then watched it with my dad, watched it with my 2 younger brothers. It was just a big family thing, and I watched all the iterations over the years. There's lots of Scooby-Doo series that we still don't have on disc, which is a shame. Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo nowhere on disc. You can watch it on HBO Max. Several of the shows you can watch on HBO Max, but I would love Blu-ray releases of all of the shows. Basically, all we have on Blu-ray is Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? And Scooby-Doo, the new Scooby-Doo movies, where they have all the guest stars on there. We got to get more of that. And now Warner Archive is doing some of those now. We have Zombie Island. We have a couple of the earlier films. So really, really cool to have this complete. I had it on DVD. My brother gave me a DVD a while ago. But it's nice to have this little compact, smaller version on Blu-ray. And it comes with a little episode guide in there, which is very cool. 4 discs? 4 discs. All the episodes stretched over 4 discs with a nice little slipcover. I have seen that for a long time. It's been on eBay, it's been on Amazon. I think I've seen it even at Walmart, but it's usually like $35. I didn't want to spend quite that much, so $16, couldn't pass it up. Amazing deal. And then I also found this. This was behind the counter at CD Warehouse. This was a cool find. It's a Walt Disney Treasures set. Not animation. Now, I have a lot of the Walt Disney Treasures back there. You can see them right behind me. But I only have the animation ones. I haven't got any of the live action ones. And this is really cool. This was also only $17, very cheap, in great condition. The tin is in great shape. Still has the little O-ring slipcover right there. This is a show that got massive. Like, everyone's heard of the show. Everyone can sing the theme song. The theme song is ubiquitous. I have never seen this, but somehow I know the theme song. But it only had like 5 episodes, I think. I think it's just a very short little 5-episode series, and I've never watched it. So I'm looking forward to it. I popped it in the day I found it and started watching through the first one. They're kind of like movie length. They're not like short episodes, but it looks like so much fun. It looks like something I would have watched in school as a kid. It's got all the bells and whistles still in here. They kept it in perfect shape. I was surprised to get this for so cheap because a lot of these go for pretty high prices online. So you got the card. They usually throw one of these in there. And then you've still got the little advertisement from back in the day with all the other Disney treasures on there. And then you've got this. This is great. These have the episodes listed with a little information on each. I love these sets. I wish we would do more. I wish Disney still cared about their catalog this much. I wish they kept doing these. These were back in like 2002, 2003, maybe up through like 2005, 2006. But I love the Disney Treasure series. I wish Disney was still doing this kind of stuff with all of their, years and years of back catalog stuff. That was a cool find. They also had another one that I didn't know much about. They had another Disney Treasure. It was still sealed. It was a lot more money, like $50, I think. So I held off on that one, but very happy to find these 2 classic television finds from Warner Brothers and Disney. Love finding that stuff out in the wild. It doesn't happen very often. It's usually like, I don't know, it feels like every 9 or 10 times I go to CD Warehouse, I find something cool like that, but love when it happens. Then I got a few sent over from Barnes & Noble. These are A24 releases. A24 has been killing it with their colored spine boutique label that they have. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to keep up with it, but I have most of them right now. I think I'm only missing 3. And these are 4 new additions to that series. And I'll talk about each one here. I've seen all of these except for The Brutalist. I haven't got a chance to see that one yet, which is right here. This is Big Film, nominated for several Oscars, winner of a couple Oscars. And yeah, it's come to A24's limited line. Actually don't know if these are limited or not. They might just keep these in print indefinitely. But here is the artwork on that one. They were very minimal on this one. It just has an image there, an image here. It does have some art cards, which are kind of hard to get out and in, so I'm not going to pull those out again. But actually, no, I will pull them out because these are kind of cool. They're like architecture sketches, which goes along with the film. You've got a bunch of different building structures here. So those are kind of fun. Those are different. Those aren't just, like different movie posters. There's a little bit of a unique twist on that one. Disc is in there. You can get this on Blu-ray or 4K, which is kind of nice. I like that they're doing that. They don't do that for all of them. Some of them only have Blu-ray releases, which is unfortunate. And we'll talk about some of those. But here is Heretic, film I have watched since this arrived, and it's a fun, speaking of Scooby-Doo, I liked this for its Scooby-Doo-ness. This feels very much like Scooby-Doo is a very specific genre that I feel like we don't get anymore. We used to get a lot of it back in like the radio play days when you would get these kids just getting caught up in these mysteries and having to solve them. And there's usually like a supernatural bend to it, and then you find out it's not actually supernatural. And I need that more in my life. If you guys know some Scooby-Doo style movies that are for adults, let me know, because that's exactly what this felt like. It's got a supernatural bend to the whole thing, and then you find out stuff. I don't want to give too much away, but it feels very much like a Scooby-Doo premise. It's about these two Mormon girls who go into Hugh Grant's home and try to convert him. Turns out he's already very, very into religion and has apparently been studying all the world's religions and come up with his own. And as the movie goes on, you find out more and more that something's not right about this guy, and he's kind of like this middle-aged Riddler character, and he's just kind of messing with them, which I quite enjoyed. I kind of find it fun. I think it fell flat a little bit by the end. I don't think it quite stuck the landing, but I enjoyed it for what it was. Then we've got Baby Girl, which is one that I was not a big fan of. Did not like this movie. I've not seen anything from this director. I think she's kind of controversial. I think she also directed Bodies, 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 which I know I've heard both sides of the coin on that one. A lot of people did not like that one, but I think it worked for some people. This one did not work for me. Me and Grace had pretty not great time with this one. This one didn't do much, but it's about Nicole Kidman, who's married to Antonio Banderas, but she's not happy, and she has to fill that void with this little rat-faced guy who I think is from Triangle of Sadness. It's not good. Don't recommend that one. But this one I highly recommend. This is my favorite movie of last year, Sing Sing. I don't know why I said it like that. Sing Sing. It's Sing Sing. It's about a prison. It's a prison movie starring the great Coleman Domingo. And this is the first time I've seen him in anything. He's one of those guys that just keeps getting in like mediocre films, but he's always the best part of it. He's great in this, and the film is great as well. It's about the prison, the high security prison in Sing Sing, and Coleman Domingo and a couple other guys start this theater troupe, this acting group, and they're putting on plays. And it's just kind of this outlet for them and therapy for them as well. And it's just a very slow, deliberately paced film, and I really loved the direction on this one. I thought it was great. I haven't seen another director that I haven't seen anything from, I don't believe, but it was great. It was so good. Just lets the actors just play. And it's perfect because that's what the film is about. And it's just, you just kind of living with these guys, and they're going through all these hard times. They're trying to get out. Some of them are like on parole and trying to, get out of prison. But a lot of them are just stuck in there, and it's just kind of a heartbreaking movie, but a very sweet, very heartwarming movie as well. And I loved it. I highly recommend it. I don't even know if I want to, well, I'll go ahead and say it because it does say at the end of the film, but I didn't know this going in, and I kind of am glad about that. But most of the actors in the film are the actual actors from the prison. Like they're playing themselves, which was so cool. And I didn't know that going in. I did notice that I didn't really recognize anybody, but I didn't know until the end credits that they were all actually playing themselves, and it was so good. Obviously, besides Coleman Domingo, it's great. It's such a good movie. Highly recommend that one. That's a must. Of the four, like I said, I haven't seen Brutalist yet, but of the four, this is a must-own for me. Thanks again, Barnes & Noble, for sending those my way. Really happy with what A24 is doing, and you can find those in your local Barnes & Noble stores. They're doing a good big push for those films, and I can't wait to see what else A24's got coming out the rest of the year. The next thing we have to talk about is briefly the Criterion. I won't talk too much about it, but we did have a Criterion flash sale in the month. I picked up 5 things, a box set and 4 singles. Very, very happy with these. I already did a whole video on this, which I'll link in the description below, so watch that video if you haven't. I'm doing something a little bit different with my Criterion collecting moving forward. I'm still gonna pick up stuff here and there, but I do wanna focus on the early stuff. Not early spine numbers, but early years, because I'm gonna go back to the 20s and 30s and 40s. I have most of those films in the collection already, but here's a few that I didn't have. So I picked these up. Westfront 1918 from G.W. Pabst. We've got an early Chaplin film that just came out, A Woman of Paris, his second feature. Had to grab that one. People on Sunday is an early German film from 1930. Looking forward to checking that one out. I've heard some people in the comments really like that one. Then we've got The Lodger, a very early Hitchcock film, a silent Hitchcock film. Lots of stuff in the collection that you don't hear about a lot. And I want to make sure I correct that and get the word out on some of these early releases. Then we've got the Marseille trilogy. This is 3 films by the same director as The Baker's Wife, also in the collection. This is a trilogy of films, an early trilogy. And the first one is from 1931. Then they got 32, and then 36. They're Marius, Fanny, and Caesar. 3 different films, early films, very stage play, I feel like. Very stagey, but I'm looking forward to checking those out. Love the artwork on this box set. All three have gorgeous artwork, and then there's a huge booklet in there too. You want to see more information on any of these Criterions, check out my Criterion video that I just did a couple videos back, and I'll talk more about those. But let's go ahead and finish up this video with more Paramount releases. We went to several Barnes & Nobles this month. I think we went to 3 stores total, 2 with John and then 1 with just Grace and me. But we found a lot of stuff. I already showed you 2 of the releases we picked up. I picked up one more here, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. One of my favorite movies. Definitely my favorite Western of all time. One of my favorite James Stewart movies. John Wayne, John Ford. This is an incredible movie, and I love it so much. It is from Paramount Presents, so it only cost me half price, $21, $22, which is kind of insane because I feel like this is pretty much out of print at this point. I don't know if you can still get it with the slipcover. I see it on eBay listed for like 40, 50 bucks. It's 40 bucks on Amazon, so to get this for 20 bucks was, I was so happy, and that's the main reason we went to that store. Grace picked up 3 things this month, very different things that I wouldn't normally pick up, that I wouldn't really talk about on this channel. So it helps to have a wife who's also into film, because we get a little bit more stuff to talk about here. This is Footloose, not a Paramount Presents. The other 2 are Paramount Presents, but this is just a standard Paramount release, but it's a beautiful Paramount release. Look at this. You got a steelbook here, made to look like a Walkman. There's both discs, the Blu-ray and the 4K. This is the 4K release of Footloose, and I'm just noticing this. There's a poster in here, which is wild. You don't see this a lot, especially, non-boutique stuff. There's some stickers there to continue the style of the steelbook underneath there, and I'll show you the back. There's the stickers on the back. I didn't know this came with a poster. This is great. There's also got a digital copy here, which I'll put over there, and we'll use that later. Look at this. Nice little poster. Little classic original poster for the film. Very different than the artwork on the steelbook, but that's really cool. I still don't know what we're going to do with those posters. I don't know if we'll ever do anything with them, but that's kind of nice because I don't feel like the price went up at all. I think that was just a fun thing that they threw in for that Footloose steelbook. Then 2 other releases. We'll go with this one first because it's also a dance movie, Flashdance. Look at this. Grace says she's seen this and she likes it quite a bit. Very fun, very 80s movie. I've never seen it, so I'm getting a film education, especially 80s movies, from my wife. So she picked up Footloose and Flashdance, and then she also picked up Terms of Endearment, brand new 4K. This is a very recent one. Spine number 42 on that one. Another one that I'm surprised that we were able to find in person, and it hadn't been picked over yet. But there it is. That is a Paramount Presents kind of boutique release from the studio. And there's the original poster right there. Very similar to the Footloose poster. Apparently in the 80s, we were just doing black posters with a photograph in the middle of it. But that's great. I'm glad she got that. I haven't seen it, so I can't speak on it. But I'm glad you found that one, Grace. And then we've got one more release that is not like anything else we've talked about. It's another boutique. It's another thing that's out of print. But I know I'm going to get some pushback in the comments for this one because I know there is a more recent edition of this from a different boutique label that is a 4K. I opted to just go with the Blu-ray for this, because I've never seen it. I didn't really want to shell out 60 bucks for a 4K of something that I haven't seen, but it's Jackie Chan's Project A and Project A Part 2. And these are really fun action movies that my friend John has told me about. He watched this when he was writing his 80s book, and they seem to me to be very similar to Police Story. It's basically like Police Story in the 19th century. He is on that police force. He's kind of like pirates. They're like pirate movies, kind of. He's on the military or the police force, something like that. And I've watched the trailers. They look like a lot of fun. There's kind of some, I don't want to say controversy. There's some difference of opinion with the Blu-rays and the 4Ks because they're not just a straight Blu-ray to 4K. There is some color, they mess with the colors a little bit. So some people prefer the Blu-ray colors, some people prefer the 4K colors. One is very blue, I think this one's bluer, and then the 4K is yellower. So you've got different tints going on. I don't know these films, I'm not super familiar with these films, so I said the Blu-ray was fine for me because this was only $18. Somebody on eBay was selling this for only 18 bucks. I think it was 20 bucks by the end of it because he gave me a deal and the shipping wasn't bad. So super cheap for a nice limited edition Eureka box set. Like I couldn't pass it up. It was one of those things I just couldn't pass it up. I saw that there was a 4K. It's a bigger box set. There's probably a little bit more bang for your buck in there, but it was 60 bucks. And I didn't want I didn't want to go 50, 60 when I could just pay 20 bucks and get the same films for pretty good quality. I did watch like a YouTube video that shows both, and they're pretty similar, pretty comparable. The color is a little bit different, but so happy to have these. And John has seen the first one when he was writing his book, but he hasn't seen the second one yet. So I'm looking forward to watching these both with John and probably with Grace, because we have been kicking around an idea to do a pirate-themed month forever. We keep talking about it. Grace really wants to go back and watch the first Pirates film. She's a huge fan of that film. We still have Cutthroat Island back there, which is that really nice Lionsgate steelbook that came out a couple years back. So we have some pirate films that we really want to watch through. So I want to throw these on there too and get a good, maybe a week's worth of pirate films that we could watch. And both of these have booklets. Look at that. Both of these have booklets in here. So you got a booklet on each film with tons of essays and imagery in there, which is very cool. That's part 2. And then part 1. Really, really nice. I love the effort that Eureka puts into their box sets. I've been on a string of Eureka box sets lately. I just bought the African Queen last month, and now I've got Project A this month. So maybe we can keep it going. Maybe we can get one each month. Let me know in the comments if you do prefer the Eureka box set, or maybe you do. I think it's 88 films that did the 4K. Maybe that's great too. That's the other thing, is I don't collect 88 films, so I was more inclined to get another Eureka box set than to go for that. So that's what I went with. Let me know in the comments if you think that was a dumb choice, but 20 bucks, I couldn't pass it up. Lots of stuff we added to the collection this month. Lots of boutique stuff from Criterion, Vincent, Eureka. We've got A24, Paramount Presents, and of course Def Crocodile. Lots of stuff coming into the collection this month. Very happy with the haul. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about any of these releases, and I'll be sure to talk to you down there. And until next time, keep collecting.